Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 my spectacular audience. I want you all to just come on in, make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home. For surely when you chime into my YouTube channel, it is my home, it is your home, it's our home. And I would always want you all to feel very, very, very comfortable. So come on in, kick off those shoes if you'd like to do so. Or you can grab you a glass of cider or a glass of wine as you're chiming into my YouTube channel. And like always, please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the notification as well. I'd love for you all to share my videos. I'd love for you all to like them as well. And please, I want to have a conversation with you all, a dialogue. So please send me your questions, your concerns, a comment, and I'll be sure to respond. You have just chimed into Tracy Smalls. I am your international inspiring speaker, along with your life, love, and relationship coach for women. And on tonight, I just wanted to kind of come in and just talk candidly in regards to relationships. I'm going to say it again. Just wanted to come in very briefly and just have just a conversation in regards to relationships. And my question to you I pose is what comes to mind? If you can just, leave me a comment and tell me what comes to your mind automatically when we think or when you think in terms of the word relationship. Is it, can you see this? Love? Does that come to mind when you think in terms of relationships? Or is it happy? And only you know what comes to mind when you think in terms of relationships. But tonight, what I wanted to focus on, which is so important, and oftentimes, we may not even think about this particular relationship. And, oftentimes, our mindset is just always so when you hear the word relationship, you think in terms of, intimacy or intimate relationship, heterosexual relationship, one that involves intimacy. And oftentimes we forget about all the other relationships. But as a life, love, and relationship coach, I always like to start out by talking about the relationship that we share with God. First and foremost, that is the very first relationship that I speak in terms of when I'm coaching women. What does that relationship look like with God, with you? How do you identify with the relationship that you have with God? Do you just assume that he's like a 911 call? He's like your sugar daddy? You just call God, you call on God when there's an emergency, when there's a crisis? Or do you have a relationship with God where you acknowledge him every single day, and not just every single day, but several times throughout the day, and you're building upon that relationship that you share with God? What is the foundation? What does it look like to you when we think in terms of the relationship that you share with God? And the reason being why I'm asking that is because I remember 10 years ago, I had gone through this relationship. I was dating this guy for like 7 years, and lo and behold, he literally had broken my heart. He crushed it into pieces, like into pieces, and I didn't know what to do. Yes, I was devastated. Yes, I was devastated. Yes, I was hurt. I was heartbroken to the point that I was experiencing depression. And I needed to, have gotten on some psychotropic medication just to kind of give me a little picker upper because I felt like I was about to lose it. I felt like I was just not in sync. My body was not in sync and not in tune with life. And I was unable to handle and cope with, day-to-day, just basic day-to-day routine. It was, becoming, and it had became, or as it had become, overwhelming to me. So I knew that, okay, what was I going to do? I was heartbroken, devastated that this man had broken my heart. And I just knew that, we would have stayed together for a lifetime. I actually thought, I literally thought that. But lo and behold, that was not the plan that had taken place. He ended up breaking my heart, like I said. And, there were times when, friends then, when, the situation had taken place, they were like, oh, just take you a drink. You'll be all right. Take you a drink. But at that time, I wasn't drinking. I don't drink alcohol. Haven't drank in over 20 years. So, I'm alcohol free. But, that was one of the suggestions that, a longtime friend, would say to me. Take you a drink. You'll be okay. And when I thought about it, I was like, But Tracy, if you take a drink, then the problem is still going to be there once you come down from being tipsy, once you come down from being a little buzzed up, once you come down from being drunk. So, was that really the solution to getting over the hurt, getting over all the pain, getting over all of the agony and disappointment that I was experiencing and that I was feeling? So, I had to say to myself, well, no, that doesn't make any sense, Tracy, because what happens is when you come down from being tipsy, from being drunk, or, just having a little buzz, guess what? The issue, the problem is still there. So I say that to say, no, that was not a great solution, to take a drink as I was going through, that pain of, being heartbroken. And when I say that pain of heartbreak, I don't wish it on anyone. And I'm not even going to say my worst enemies because I truly believe I don't have any enemies and I don't want to ever think that I do. But I don't wish that emotional heartbreaking pain on absolutely no one. Oh, it's undescribable. It's a pain like all outdoors. Like, oh my God, can this pain let up? Is it going to get any easier? Is it going to get any better? So then I had to decide, how was I going to deal with the fact of no longer being with this gentleman that, I had dated for, like I said, 7 years. So then what I decided to do was I established our relationship. When I say a relationship, a solid foundational relationship, if that's a word, foundational relationship with God. I needed something solid. I needed something that was not going to move, that something that was not going to go to and fro, something that was not going to let me down no matter what I was going through. And I decided that God was the answer. God was the solution to all of the pain that I was dealing with, all of the pain that I was feeling, the just being hurt. And, I like to call this relationship 99. You know how, if you've ever gone to college or experienced college life, when you start college, you're normally starting like at a 101 level. But tonight we're going to talk about just basic 99. We're not even getting to the meat. We're not even getting to the real deal of building other relationships. Because we got to first start with the first one that is most important, which is the relationship that you will establish and build with God. So yes, I needed that solid foundation, something that was not going to move, and something that was going to like me, love me in my mess, in my pain, in my distress, in my emotional tore up from the flow up, in the midst of me not knowing and even not really wanting to be alive anymore. The pain was so devastating that I recall there were days I would be driving to work and I said, you know what? I just can't do this pain anymore. And oftentimes I would think about driving off of the road, just literally ending my life. The pain, the emotional pain was just that devastating. But what I decided to do was establish that relationship with God. And, I had given my life to God, became a Christian at the age of 13 because, and is this any truth? I don't know. But, I've been was told that at age 13, if I'm remembering the age correctly, you kind of take on your own sins. So it was there that I actually, became a believer in Christ. But I didn't know exactly what that meant. All I know is, my mom and daddy made sure that I went to Sunday school. Mom and daddy made sure I went to church. Then I was in this little community choir. And then I was, what else did I do? Went to church, Sunday school, the little community choir. Yeah, and went to little prayer meetings, in the community that took place. My mom and daddy, they were giving me the basic fundamentals of what it's like to be a Christian and, be a Christian. And as the time went on, from 13 on up, I still was a believer. But it was not until I turned the age of 30 that I literally had to decide how I was going to deal with being in distress from that broken relationship, that intimate relationship, that is. And I decided, like I said, to establish a personal relationship with God. And it wasn't until then that I really began to know God like I know God, like I know God for myself. It took me building that personal relationship with Him because I needed someone to help me to deal with what I was going through so I wouldn't like literally try to check myself out of this world. And when I tell you that was the best thing that could have happened, when I made that decision cognitively to establish a relationship with God. Because throughout my years from 13 to 30, I did the what I was told to do. Sunday school, church, but even with my friend from high school, her grandfather was the pastor of the church that we attended. I can't tell you this day, right now, as I'm sitting and speaking with you guys candidly, what any of the sermons was about. I just couldn't. So apparently, I was just going through formality, going to church because I was told to go. And then, of course, when I got growing and on my own, off here in Atlanta to college, Sunday was like my day to do laundry. If I didn't want to go to church, I just didn't go. It's like I had the freedom to decide and to not go. And I did just that. I just utilized that freedom. But like I said, it wasn't until the age of 13 when I was crushed. My heart was broken. And when I tell you that was the best experience that could have ever happened to me, that dude had broken my heart because it helped me to realize that I needed God. And I needed to know what it was like to have a personal relationship with Him. So when we think in terms of relationship, I want you guys to always think first and foremost of establishing a relationship with God. And don't have God as just a sugar daddy where you just call him when you need help, when you need your bills paid. Because when that man get to acting funny, when that man get to tripping, or when that man, get to not doing how you would want him to do, or things are just not going well with you all, who are you going to turn to? Again, you need a solid foundation, and I highly, truly recommend that solution is God. First and foremost, that's where it all starts. That is where the evolution takes place, where you have that relationship, like I said,